Pregnancies ought to be a simple and straightforward procedure where a sperm fertilizes an egg and a child is born 9 months later. Well, some seemingly impossible pregnancies exist, and these 10 instances of unusual pregnancies will leave you shocked. If you stick around till the end, you'll see a woman who endured labor pains for over 70 days. Youngest mother. Usually, menstruation starts when a girl is 10 to 12 years old. It may start earlier than 10, but there are cases when girls start menstruating too early. While this seems impossible, it happens. A Peruvian girl named Lina Marcela Medina gave birth to a child when she was only 5 years and 7 months old. Even more shocking is that doctors revealed she had been menstruating since she was 3 and could get pregnant if she was not looked after. Unfortunately, kids are often prey for adults. In some cases, parents are not around to protect them from predators, like in this case. Lina was taken to the hospital where doctors confirmed that she had a 7-month-old fetus inside her. Her dad was arrested for rape and incest. Due to her age, the child was born via cesarean section, and he survived. He weighed 2.7 kilo, which was healthy despite the conditions. This kind of pregnancy is rare as no one has broken the record since. Hopefully, no one will, because it's disheartening to see a child go through this alone. Oldest mother. Like Lina, this condition is shocking. Typically, women hit menopause in their 40s or 50s, but things have changed. Today, women can get pregnant in their 50s and beyond thanks to various drugs and IVF procedures. For some women, they can have a natural birth without artificial insemination. These cases are rare, and even doctors are marveled at it. Omkari Panwar gave birth to twins at 72, to the world's amazement. The Indian woman successfully delivered a boy and a girl, all thanks to in vitro fertilization. Both children were born healthy but premature, and the procedure nearly killed the mother. Panwar and her husband had 2 other children and 5 grandchildren, but the couple never had a son. They desired one so much that they opted for implantation despite the risks. This practice is often frowned upon by medical experts because it's unsafe for her age, but she didn't mind. In India, it is illegal for a doctor to reveal the sex of a child because the truth could lead to the abortion of healthy fetuses. Getting pregnant while pregnant. Did you know that one can give birth to 2 babies who are not twins? Yes, that's what happens in this incredibly rare case. This phenomenon is called superfetation. Studies show that there are only around 10 cases known in medical history. One such case involved Julia Gravenberg, who became pregnant with her second son Hudson while carrying her first daughter Julian. Hudson was conceived 2 weeks after his sister, so they were close enough in age to be called twins. In reality, they are not. Both kids were born simultaneously because the parents figured it was the best way. Interestingly, this condition can occur even when 2 fathers are involved. Getting pregnant while pregnant also happened in 2017 when an American surrogate for a Chinese couple became pregnant with 2 children. The 2 pregnancies happened 3 weeks apart. Double pregnancy without twins. You'd think getting pregnant while pregnant is the most unusual pregnancy in the world until you see this. Did you know some women are born with more than 1 uterus? This condition is called didelphys. These women can't become pregnant in both uteri at once, but that can happen. Researchers say the odds of it occurring is 1 in 5 million. That's why there's rarely any recorded case. The most recent one occurred in 2010 when Angie Cromar had 2 babies at once, but they weren't twins. Twins form from 2 eggs and different sperm, or a single fertilized egg that splits. However, they develop in the same uterus. Development in different uteri of the same mother is different, so both offspring cannot be called twins. Essentially, it is 2 different eggs and 2 sperm cells that combine separately. Therefore, they are siblings and not twins. Well, you can call them non-genetic twins, but this is incorrect. This condition is incredibly rare, with only 100 cases seen so far. 2 pregnancies from 2 fathers Can a woman be pregnant with two different fathers at once? Yes, and here's how. This can happen in many ways. Superfetation occurs when there's pregnancy on top of pregnancy. But this is not the only way a woman can be pregnant twice. Usually, women release a single egg when they ovulate, but sometimes they may drop more. When this happens, one or two of them can be fertilized by separate sperm cells. Sperm can survive for up to 5 days, and within that period, it waits to find an egg. If one of those cells finds the egg, it can fertilize it, even if the woman is already pregnant at the time. One such case occurred in 2009 when a Texas woman delivered twin boys. The father noticed that one of them looked different, so he asked for a paternity test. His hunch was right. The other child wasn't his. Both children were born on the same day, but didn't have the same biological father. Birth of non-euplets. Netizens went agog when an American woman gave birth to 8 children at once in 2009. She became a global star and left everyone wondering if she was a superhuman. In fact, she became a Guinness World Record holder, but in 2021, a Malian woman gave her a run for her money. Halima Cissé gave birth via cesarean section to 9 babies at once, and they all survived. All 9 of them spent 2 to 3 months inside incubators where they continued growing. Delivering non-euplets was a significant ordeal requiring a team of 10 doctors and 25 paramedics at the Ain Borja Clinic in Casablanca. 27 years old at birth. During in vitro fertilization, multiple embryos are harvested to increase the possibility of a viable pregnancy. It is common for people to preserve leftover embryos in cold storage for use at a later date. Sometimes, too, these embryos are donated to programs that handle embryo adoption, so infertile couples can use them to have a child. These preserved embryos are only held in cryogenic preservation for only a few years. Still, these embryos can be stored for longer periods. Tina Gibson and her husband Ben obtained 2 embryos stored in a cryogenic freezer, and they broke records. They had their first child from a frozen embryo extracted and put on ice 24 years earlier. And for the second one, it stayed a whole 27 years before the Gibsons implanted it. This is the longest period an egg has spent between extraction, freezing, thawing, and implantation. And the best part? It resulted in a viable pregnancy. Surprise birth. Medical mysteries happen often, and a surprise birth is one of them. This phenomenon is rare, but many think it is common, since some women claim not to have realized they were pregnant. Surprise pregnancies create a lot of problems for everyone involved. Also called cryptic pregnancies, it happens when a woman has mild or completely no pregnancy symptoms. No cramps, morning sickness, minimal abdomen swelling, and practically no sign of pregnancy. She doesn't think she's pregnant and continues to menstruate. Something similar occurred in April 2021 when Melissa Surgikoff gave birth to her son while sitting on a toilet. Patrick O'Brien, an obstetrician at University College London Hospital, experiences similar conditions at least once a year. In many cases, the soon-to-be mother spends her entire pregnancy menstruating regularly and doesn't imagine that she's carrying a baby. This pregnancy is dangerous because the child would miss out on prenatal care. The longest recorded pregnancy. If you have friends who have been pregnant, chances are that you've heard them complain about skipping the due date. Now, this is common for women as they could exceed it by a few days or weeks. Generally, pregnancies last for 289 days, which is about 9 months and a day. While this is the average, many children are born too early or late. Beulah Hunter is famous for spending the longest time being pregnant. She gave birth to her daughter after carrying her for 375 days, earning herself a spot in history books. This unusual pregnancy sparked skepticism from many who thought it was impossible. Some accused her of miscarrying the child and quickly getting pregnant during her year of pregnancy. Her doctors disagreed with the proof. They confirmed that she was genuinely pregnant and that her baby was more than 100 days overdue. Hunter's daughter was healthy and without any unusual development. Longest labor pains ever recorded. Labor pains are definitely not for the faint of heart. Even if it lasts for a few minutes, it's enough reason to go crazy. And for some women, this intense burst of pain lasts hours. In most cases, it extends to over 10 hours, making the woman moan in pain. This sounds heart-wrenching until you hear Jana Krzysztofan's story. This Polish woman suffered for so long to give birth to her child. And no, it was not a few hours, but a whopping 75 days. We're talking 1,800 hours of intense labor pains. She went into labor at 21 weeks while carrying triplets. The first was born soon after, but it was too early to survive, leaving the other two inside her womb. The labor pains didn't end after the first birth. Neither were the children delivered. Her contractions continued until the last day. After an insanely long waiting period, she delivered the remaining two children safely. Although she suffered some balancing issues after birth, she recovered and is healthy to care for her kids. See you in the next one.